Okay, hi everyone, and welcome today to our class. Welcome to a new week where we are going to be learning English. And this lesson is really important because we are going to be doing the most important thing that we can do and learn when we learn a language is we need to introduce ourselves. We need to say who we are, where we are from, and what we do in life. What is our job? So really important. This is the foundation, the basic that you need to know when you learn a language. You will always need to start with talking about yourself. And that's what we're doing today. So let's make sure that we can do that confidently, we can do it fluently, and we can do it using English phrases, very common way of a native English speaker, which is really important. Not just know the grammar, but how does a native English speaker talk about themselves? You know, say their name, say where they're from, what they do for a living, how old they are. Okay, so let's get into the lesson of talking about people and ourselves and other people. Starting with, if you have a look, let's start with the grammar first. So a really important verb that we have in English is the verb to be. You'll know it's ser if you speak Spanish, and estar in Portuguese, or the other way around. Which one is Spanish? Oh, ser and estar, both. Okay, so if you speak another language, you have to know which verb that is. So this verb is the first very important action verb that you need to know. And in English, it's the verb to be. So we know that when we talk, we either talk about what's happening in our life in the past or in the present, which is now, this moment, or in the future. So we want to talk now. We want to meet people right now in this moment, and we want to tell them who we are. So it's now, present. So this verb to be in the present is am, is, are. But that depends on the subject. So if the subject is I say I am. If the subject is you say you are. He, she, it is. We are, they are. Okay, so always start your sentence with a subject. Who are you talking about? So we're going to do ourselves. We're going to say I, and then am. We know that am is the verb to be in the present. So I am. Now we use this when we talk about our name. Okay, so I am Layla. Or if I want to introduce someone else, he is Henry. She is Javiera. We use it when we talk about our age. So I am 38 years old. Now you can also say I am 38. Country. So I am from Australia. Job. I am a teacher. Okay, job or occupation, that means the same thing. We can use it when we talk about an adjective. I am kind. I am nice. She is tall. He is short. Location. So I am in Adelaide right now. Nationality. I am Australian. Religion. So you can say I am Christian. I am whatever religion. Marital status. So this means, are you single? Are you married? Are you divorced? Are you separated? Are you in a relationship? So I can say I am in a relationship, or I am married. And we have these emotive verbs. Now, emotive verbs are like action words, but there's a feeling to them, like I am happy, I am excited, I am surprised, I am devastated, I am sad. So they're action words that have a feeling attached to them. Okay, so that's when we use the verb to be. Okay, so start with your subject, and then it depends which subject. Am, is, are. So this is what we call a positive sentence. I'm giving you positive, true information. Now, if I want to make a negative sentence, I say not. And I say not after the verb to be. So for example, I am not Maria. I am not 20 years old. I am not from Brazil. I am not a doctor. Okay, so it's a negative sentence by saying not. And we have to put not in this position. So subject, I, you, he, she, it, we, they. Whichever to be, am is are, not, and then whatever information that I want to talk about. Remember, when we use the verb to be, it's because we are talking about these things, our name, our age, the country, our job. So always, always use the verb to be. And if we want to make a question, maybe we want to ask people information. So we can start with the verb to be, am is are, subject, and then that information. For example, hey, Eloise. First of all, thank you. That was from Javiera, very sweet. Sorry, from Eloise. It's always hard when you have students who finish and they need to go to the next level, and the time that, you know, I teach is really important because it means a lot when I get to see you improve, and then, you know, you need to go to the next level. So, but yes, before we continue, we'll just actually, we have a new student. So it's really interesting because we just started with introducing ourselves, where we're from, what's our name, how old are you? Would you like to say hi and introduce yourself to the class? Hello. In where? Which country? China. China. Okay, yes. And do you have an English name? You have a name? Lucy. Yeah. Okay. 21 years old. Yeah, and you work? Yeah. In a sushi? Okay. Sushi shop? Yeah. My English is not good. Yeah, well, in the right place. Okay, welcome so there you go. Yes. And you can all say welcome. So we have Henry from Vietnam. We have Curly. And Javiera, Chile. Okay, so welcome to our class. We are looking at using the verb to be. And as I said, we use this verb when we talk about ourselves. So same as when Lucy just came and she said, I am Lucy. I am from China. I am 29 years old. I am a sushi I work at a sushi shop. So that was perfect. She introduced herself. We know she used the verb to be. I am. That's what she said. I am Lucy. Now we're just talking about questions. Maybe we want to ask someone questions. So we start with the verb, am is are, subject, and then the information. So for example, are you Lucy? Are you from China? Are you a sushi, chef or something? Or we can use the 6 W's: what, where, why, when, who, which, or how. And then the verb to be, and then the subject. So for example, where are you from? Why are you here? Who are you here with? What are you studying? When are you coming to class? Okay, so these are questions because, again, I want to know about someone's name, someone's age, the country that they're from, what is their job, some adjective, their location, their nationality, or if they're married or not married. And so if we answer If it's a positive, we say, yes, I am. Or if it's a negative, no, I'm not. Now that's just using the subject I'm. So yes, I am. No, I'm not. Or again, yes, she is. No, she's not. Yes, he is. No, he isn't. Yes, we are. No, we aren't. Okay, so really important. It depends on the subject. But we can have a contracted form, which means we put the subject and the verb together. So I'm, your, she's, his, it's, where, there. Okay, putting the subject and the verb together. So I'm Layla. I'm from Australia. I'm a teacher. Okay, so just putting the subject and the verb together. So let's practice talking about ourselves. So we want to say hi, we want to say my name is, and give lots of information. So I know some people have already done this post from this class, but let's have a read of some other people's comments and look at the verb to be. So Henry, you wrote this one. Let me fix it for you. You wrote this when you started 6 weeks ago. So my name is, how do I say your name? Toy. You could say my name is Toy or Henry in English. Okay, full stop. I come from Vietnam. Perfect. Now we want to practice the verb to be. So I am from Vietnam. You can say that. I'm from Vietnam. I am 47 years old. I am married. If you want, you can connect this. I'm married with 2 children, 1 boy and 1 girl. Full stop. So a full stop after every sentence. How do we know? Because every sentence is one information. So my son is 18 years old. Wow. My son is 18 years old. My daughter is 13 years old. And my love is 39 years old. Full stop. Good. I have been in Australia for 5 months and would like to meet everyone. Please, so full stop. Please call me Henry. Yeah, perfect. I'll still keep this one here, or Henry in English. Okay, good. So we can see that Henry introduced himself, where he's from, what's his name, using the verb to be. This is another one from Min. She says, hi guys, I'm Min. I'm from Vietnam. I'm 42 years old. I came here to study English and enjoy seeing the Australian culture. Edward said, hi guys, my name is Eduardo. Or he should say, I am Eduardo. I'm 18 years old. I'm from Santa Catarina, Brazil. I'm here to learn English. I've been here for 2 months. Adelaide is an amazing place. Shirley says, hi, hello everyone. My name is Shirley and I'm from Taiwan. I've been in Adelaide for almost 2 months now. 5 years ago, I came to Australia to work for 2 years and visited many cities. This time, I came to Adelaide to improve my English skills. Franco says, hi guys, my name is Franco. I'm 31 years old and I am from Argentina. I've been in Adelaide for 2 months. I'm enjoying it here so much. It's beautiful here and I get surprised each day a little more by its beauty. I hope you are enjoying it here as well. Have a good one. Anna says, hello, my name is Anna. I'm 31 years old. I'm from Ecuador, but I'm now living in Adelaide. I have been here for 5 days. I came to study English at Alliance College. I speak Spanish. I have 2 brothers and a sister. Bivi says, hello, I'm Bivi. I'm from Medellin, Colombia. I'm 28 years old. I'm a kindergarten teacher. I have lived in Sydney for 11 months and Adelaide for 3 months. So that's over a year in Australia. Just fix that up. So that is over a year in total in Australia. Pho says, hi, everybody. I'm Pho. I'm 21 years old. I am Vietnamese. I have been in Adelaide, Australia for 3 months. I have been studying English at Alliance College since last month, and my hobbies are playing soccer and listening to music. I like to eat fruits and Vietnamese food. And Sebastian says, hi, my name is Sebastian. I'm 27 years old. I am a mechanic. My hometown is Cartagena, Colombia. I have been living in Adelaide for a month. I really like playing soccer. George says, hi, I'm George Levia. I'm 18 years old. I arrived in Australia on June the 10th. I'm working in an air conditioning company. I'm a sportsman and soccer is my favorite sport. I enjoy eating. Jessica says, hi, my name is Jessica. I'm 31 years old and I'm from Brazil. I have lived in Adelaide for 2 months. I'm a student studying English. Okay, so that was some ways that we can say hi and introduce ourselves, where we're from, and even talk about our family, like what Henry did. So you could say, I have, you've got to use a different verb to say I have, 2 children, but really important, we use the verb to be, am is are in the present, to give information about ourselves, our name, our age, the country that we're from, if we're married, what's our job, where are we, where do we live? That's how we use the verb to be. So we can see explorers. We can see Derek, this is him here, and Beverly Joubert in Botswana, in Africa. So these are 2 people, and they are in Africa. Okay, so we're going to listen now to a short little interview about these 2 people, Derek and Beverly. So we want to find out what is their job, how are they related, and where are they from. Okay, so let's listen, and then you can also put the surname, you can put their job, their place of birth, are they married or single, and what are they to each other, what's the relationship. So you can put the personal information about these 2 people when you listen to the audio. Okay, so let's listen, and remember, listen to the verb to be. When we give information about our name, our job, where we're from, if we're married. Okay, so let's listen.
Track 2, Unit.
Name.
My name's Beverly Joubert.
What's your job?
I'm a photographer for National Geographic, and I'm also an explorer and filmmaker. I'm married to the man in the photo.
What's his name?
My husband's name is Derek. He's also an explorer and filmmaker.
In the photo, you are in Australia. Are you from Australia?
No, we aren't. We're from Africa, and we live in Africa. Actually, this picture isn't in Australia. It's in Botswana.
Okay, let's listen one more time and fill in 3 and 2. Make sure 2 and 3.
Track 2, Unit 1A.
Hello. What's your name?
My name's Beverly Joubert.
What's your job?
I'm a photographer for National Geographic, and I'm also an explorer and filmmaker. I'm married to the man in the photo.
What's his name?
My husband's name is Derek. He's also an explorer and filmmaker.
In the photo, you are in Australia. Are you from Australia?
No, we aren't. We're from Africa, and we live in Africa. Actually, this picture isn't in Australia. It's in Botswana.
So we know she is a photographer. Derek is her husband. And they are from Africa. Okay, pretty simple. So you can also introduce yourself. This is an example. My name is Silvio. My last name is, then you can put your answer. I am a student, or I am a construction engineer, or I am a wine lab technician. I was born in Brazil. I am single. Okay, so we can see all of this. I am, is, using the verb to be to talk about ourselves. So on page 11, number 5, affirmative is when we say I am. I'm when we say your and his. And negative is when we say I'm not, we're not, she's not. So remember the negative, you add the not. So I'm not, he's not, she's not. A question, you start with the verb. So this would be 5C, question. Are you? So if I want to ask about you, I want to say, are you? And if I want to ask about someone else, a male, I say, is he? Now make sure these are capital because it's the start of the sentence. So is he or are you? So that's how we ask a question about someone else. And as I said, the short answer, yes, I am. Yes, it is. If it's an it, the subject is it. Yes, it is. And no, you aren't. For the negative, no, you aren't. No, he isn't. Okay, so that's how we respond if it's a yes or if it's a no. So we say yes or no first, and then the subject with the verb and the negative. So let's have a look at this conversation. The first person says, hello, what is your name? Okay, so when we ask people, what is your name? Okay, very simple question. I want to know someone's name. What is your name? That's the common way to say it. You can say, what are you called? But this is very common. What is your name? And someone can say, my name's Mike Burney. Are you married? So if we want to find out if they're married, this question could be, are you married? Are you single? Are you in a relationship? Okay, same questions. Are you married? And he responds, yes, I am. So you could say, always put a yes or no first when you have these questions to be. So yes, I am. My wife's name is Sally. She isn't here today. So this is a negative. She isn't here today. So it's a negative. She is not, but we connected. She isn't here today. She's a teacher. So when we're talking about someone's job, she's a teacher. So you can connect it or not. She is or she's a teacher. I'm also a teacher. So we're adding also because it's the same job. So I'm also a teacher. Are you both from the United Kingdom? No, we aren't. So this was a negative and it was in the plural because I'm talking about more than not just me, but we. No, we aren't. I'm from the UK, but Sally is from Canada. And how old are you? So we can also have a question starting with the H. So how, and then the verb to be, or the adjective, how old, how tall, how smart, how kind are you? How old are you? I'm 36. Is Sally also 36? No. So we're going to make it a negative. No. Subject, she isn't. No, she isn't. She's 35. Okay, so as I said, you can see whether or not the subject and the verb is connected. If they are connected, this is what they will sound like. I'm, your, she's, his, its, where, and there. So let's listen to a short audio and see which one do you hear. Do you hear the connected between the subject and the verb, or the not connected? So you can see in question 7, tick which one you hear in the audio. Okay, let's listen.
Track 4, Unit 1A. 1,
I'm 31.
2,
Are you from England?
3,
No, I'm not.
4,
Her name's Helena.
5,
We aren't from the USA.
6,
We're from Canada.
7,
No, he isn't.
8,
Is he married?
Okay, so we can read together a family in Kenya. The Leakey family lives in Kenya. Louise Leakey is an explorer, but for her family, that's normal. Louise's mother is Mauve, and she's an explorer. Louise's father is Richard Leakey. Richard is also in Kenya, and he's a conservative. He's a conservationist. Richard's half brother is Colin Leakey. Colin isn't in Africa. He's retired, and he lives in England. Louise's grandparents, Louis and Mary, are dead, but they were also famous explorers. Louise's sister is Samira. Their uncle and aunt are Philip Leakey and his wife, Katty. They have an international company. Okay, let's talk about family and vocabulary to do with family. So we know we have an auntie, okay, and an uncle. Now, an uncle and an auntie are your father's brother and sister. So your dad, brother, you would call him uncle, and your dad's sister, you would call her auntie. So one is for the male, one is for the female. So we say uncle and auntie. And that means my father's brother and sister. Your brother's daughter and son, number 5, is your nephew, is his nephew and niece. So if you have a brother and they have children, your brother's son is your nephew and your brother's daughter is your niece. So nephew, niece. Your uncle and aunt's son or daughter is your cousins. So your auntie, when she has children, is your cousins. Your uncle, when he has children, is your cousins. A brother, but from one different parent, is your half brother. So that means you share the same mum, or maybe you share the same dad, but you only share one parent. So your half brother or your half sister. Your husband or wife's mother is your mother-in-law. So Henry has a mother-in-law. Your mother or your father are your parents. They are your parents. And your parents' mother or father are your grandparents. Okay, your grandparents. So let's look at using possessive and possessive adjectives. So when I talk about a noun or an object, and I want to say that the object is mine or that the noun is mine, because we usually use this when we're talking about family or objects, we say, like, for example, Sally's home is in Canada. So Sally, this is her home. So I must say Sally's home, her home is in Canada. So I'm using this apostrophe S to show that the home belongs to Sally. It's her home. So that's how I use the first one. It's called a possessive, and you put apostrophe S after the person's name. So for example, Tom's laptop, Mary's house, David's car. Okay, and it sounds like a Z. Sally's home. Okay, to show that something belongs to him. Now we have these possessive adjectives, and they're different to subjects. They're words like my, your, his, her, its, our, your, and their. So we put these words before a noun. Okay, so for example, if I'm saying my book, my house, his phone, her umbrella, your jacket, their car. Okay, so I'm not using a subject because a subject, I, you, he, she, it, goes with a verb. But a possessive adjective goes with a noun. So I'm saying it's my book, it's my house, it's my phone. I'm showing you that it belongs to me, whatever object or family member, my sister, my brother, my mother. Okay, so we use it for a noun, and the noun is, like I said, it's an object or it's a family member. So again, subject, we only use a subject, I, you, he, she, it, we, they, when we talk about an action. Okay, an action. Like, for example, I study English. I work at the hospital. I drive to work. Okay, so I use the subject when I'm talking about an action. I'm doing something. But I use a possessive adjective. Remember, my, your, his, her, its, our, your, their. When I'm talking about the object, the noun. So for example, my car, his sister, their book. Okay, so that's how we know the difference between a subject and a possessive adjective. So let's have a look at number 8. My parents are Spanish. So I could see parents is a noun. So I have to say my parents, the possessive adjective. My parents are Spanish. Number 2, I am the only boy in the family. So we have to say I because it's the verb, I am. So subject, verb. Number 3, what's your name? Because name is a noun, so we need the possessive adjective. What is your name? What's your name? Where are you from? So where are you as a subject? Where are you from? She is a photographer. She, because subject, verb is, we know that's from the verb to be. She is a photographer. His uncle is in the USA. Our family is from Asia. Their cousins are both girls because cousins is a noun, so possessive adjective. Okay, let's hear the difference between, we can have there or there. So this one, there or there. So we know this one is subject verb, they are, right? And this one is the possessive adjective. We also have his and his. These ones sound the same, there and there. The exactly same sound, but different words. One is a subject, one is a possessive. So you can put a tick, which means that they sound the same. But this one, his and his, do not sound the same. The pronunciation is not the same. So I'm going to put an X. Its and its sound exactly the same. So I'm going to put a tick. These two words, one is the subject with the verb, and one is the possessive, and they both sound the same. Its. Our and our. Do they sound the same? No. So you can put an X. Our is from the verb to be, and our is a possessive adjective. Your and your. Do they sound the same? Your and your. Yes, they sound exactly the same. One is a subject and the verb, and the other one is a possessive adjective. So you can put a tick. They sound the same. They have the same pronunciation. Okay, let's rewrite these sentences. My name's Fabian. Annie's sister is Claire. Or you could say her sister is Claire. We're using the possessive adjective with the noun. Her sister is Claire. Francis and Anthony's cousins are Juliet and Jane, or their cousins are Juliet and Jane. Fritz's grandparents are dead, or you could say his grandparents are dead. We're using the possessive adjective and the noun. Are you Sylvian? Or is your name Sylvian? We have a niece, her name is Helen. Or you could say our niece is Helen. Okay, let's read this description of a family. Okay, let's read this part of a writing about a family. And we're going to add whether it needs a subject or a possessive adjective. So my family lives in Australia. My mother, because we've got a noun. So it's not a verb, mother, it's a noun. So my mother is from Ireland and her 3 sisters, my aunts, live there. My father is from Australia and is a businessman. My sister's name is Orla and she's a teacher. She's married and her husband is Tim. He's also a teacher. Can you think what possessive adjective you need here? So we've got children, but I'm talking about some other people. So their children are Rory and Jack. My best friend is Peter. So I'm talking about Peter. So that means his father and my father have a company together. Okay, so you could see lots of subjects and lots of possessive adjective. So make sure you know the difference. One, you use it with the verb, and the possessive adjective, you use it with a noun or a family member. So now let's talk about your family. So tell us about your family members. So you want to tell us about anyone in your family. Okay, and here are some examples. So we have Jonathan says, I have a small family. Jocelyn is my daughter. She is in Colombia and is 7 years old. My mother is 50 years old and lives in Colombia also with her husband. My brother lives in Mexico and is 30 years old. We are a fun family. Juanita says, my family is small. My mother's name is Amalia and my father is Carlos. They have 2 children, my sister, Lucy, and I. My nephews are Juan, Angel, and Julian, and my niece is Victoria. I have 2 siblings, Tatiana, 2 half-siblings, Tatiana and Carlos from my father's side. They are married. We are from Colombia. Jessica says, my family is small, just my husband, Alan, my 2-year-old daughter, Amy, and myself. Vivi says, my mum's name is Lucy, a very popular name today, and she lives with my younger sister and my 2 dogs, Luna and Lupe. My family is a little big. I have 3 older sisters and they live with their husbands. I'm also the aunt of 7 nephews. They all live in Colombia. Fo says, hi everybody, I'm Fo. In my family, there are 8 people, my mother, my father, and my 5 brothers. My parents are in the real estate business and my brother lives and works in many different countries. George says, my family is small. My sister is Jennifer and she's 27 years old. She's a supervisor in a hotel. My brother-in-law is 32 years old and he works for an air conditioning company. Victor says, my family is small. I have 2 brothers and they live with my mother. My mother is 63 years old and her name is Maria. My parents are divorced, so my father lives in another place. They all live in Brazil. Matthew says, my family is big and is made up of my dad, who is 55 years old, my mother, who is 57 years old, my 2 older siblings, and my niece, who is 12 years old. They all live in Colombia. My brother has a dog and her name is Kayla, and my parents' dog is Tara. Anna says, my family is small. I have 2 brothers, Hector and Eduardo. one sister, Jennifer, and 4 nephews, Marley, Giselle, Santiago, and Rafaela. We all live in the city, Vinces, Ecuador. Franco says, I have numerous family members, including my 2 parents and my 5 siblings. My mother's name is Sylvia. Delio is my dad. I have 1 sister, Melissa. She is the mother of my first 2 nephews, Matteo and Enzo. My older brother, Matthias, has a son too, Enzo. Recently, my twin, Mauro, became a father to Salvador, who was born just this month. My other older brother, Leandro, and I don't have sons at the moment. And Yaneth says, my family is from Medellin, Colombia. My family is made up of my mother, Catalina, who is 42 years old and is a professional in safety and health at work. My father, Alejandro, is 50 years old and he is independent. My sister, Laura, is 27 years old and she is a psychologist. My brother, Nicholas, is 28 years old and his daughter, Salome, is 6 years old. Okay, so we can see that we can talk about our family members, not just ourselves, but we're now able to talk not just about ourselves, but we can tell information about our family members, about our mother, our father. We can talk about what they do for a living, their job, where are they from, where are they living right now, how old they are. We can give details about our family members. So that's what we did in this lesson. We talked about ourselves, being able to introduce ourselves very confidently, and now talk about our family. We can tell people, you know, what family we have. Okay, so that's what we have for this lesson.